The goal of psychoanalysis is to lead a healthier, more adaptive life by being more aware of what motivates you in the first place, and then living a life in which you might have some chance of getting the good things you want and where you can avoid the things that are pulling you off balance.
It's a big opportunity, really, for a person to rework the way they operate, to rework the way they relate to their feelings, the way they relate to their own history.
The individual freedom and the deep internal transformations that can lead to really living a successful life. That's what psychoanalysis is all about.
Psychoanalysis as a term refers really to three different aspects of what we do. Psychoanalysis is a theory about the human mind and about mental life. The theory, in a nutshell, is that a lot of important things in our lives are determined at a level of our living that's unconscious to us.
I mean, there's an awful lot of human existence and thinking that goes on out of awareness. The psychoanalytic perspective really tries to look beneath the surface.
Most people think about the psychoanalytic psychotherapy or psychoanalysis per se, which is a therapeutic process where one individual who's trained to listen in a special way to another individual tries to bring together and understand these injuries, restrictions, problems from the past.
And generally, over time, you get to piece together what their life story has been and bring into consciousness, really, some of the conflicts that have plagued them.
Sigmund Freud was the fellow who first listened in this unique way. He was very curious. He was a neurologist by training. Gradually, he developed this process of listening and sort of connecting the dots.
The psychoanalyst considers your development as a person, so they see a lot of your problems in the present as reflecting problems in the past.
We don't lay down files of memories. Our memories are sort of stored in kind of neural connections, networks.
The past is always present in some way.
A dream is very important. Freud called dreams the royal road to the unconscious.
What we're creating is a kind of artificial environment where we can attend to things that people spend most of their time trying not to attend to.
Freud grew tired of people sort of looking at him. And he suggested, well, why don't you just lie down?
So he eventually came up with this technique using the couch and having the person free associate.
And it actually makes sense. I know it seems very awkward and maybe very 19th century, but from my own experience being a patient on the couch as well as being on the other, in the other chair, there's something really that frees you up by not having to make eye contact with another person while you're saying very intimate things. Psychoanalysts are, if you will, experts on human development and human behavior. But our job is not to lecture to the patient. Our job is to help the patient become an expert on their own behavior, an expert in listening to themselves.
My relationship with my patient is the most important thing. It's the vehicle, really, for anything good that's going to happen. It provides a second chance to the patient. I provide a relationship which is stable, respectful, where they have my undivided attention. And then I am, skilled at helping them understand what stands in their way.
This isn't like other conversations, and that it's not about you and the other person. It's about you and you. And the other person's job is to help you have this conversation with yourself about yourself. Their job is when you kind of get stuck in that conversation, they kind of help you along.
We value the individuality. We know that if we're really going to help this person We have to learn about this person.
Psychoanalysis looks at the symptoms not as the problem in and of themselves, but as a sign of a developmental internal struggle.
We really want to understand why the symptoms are there.
The idea is to help a person get past some place where they're stuck and grow. The third aspect of psychoanalysis, along with the theory and the practice, a form of psychotherapy, is a form of research. The psychoanalytic theory creates many good research questions about how we become who we are and how we operate once we become who we are.
Psychoanalysis is over 100 years old, but since that time, so many other clinicians, investigators of the mind, have discovered additional ways to understand and help people feel freer.
It's a field that is so vast. If I did nothing for the rest of my life but read, I couldn't stay on top of what's being written.
The goal of psychoanalysis is freedom. The goal of psychoanalysis is to help realize the potential for happiness, success, intimacy, to give people choices that they've never had before.